Pike's pushed more and far and up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for the Old Guys Racing League Coffee Cup Round 12 from the Nurburgring GT circuit. I'm James Parfitt, going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Tom Cairns here this evening. And, well, got a 90 lined up for you. 60% fuel. Going to be really close if they're going to make it one or two stops. So we're going to keep an eye out and see if we can work out what is happening there. Right, let's bring you up to date with the standings. In the AM standings, Gary Spencer is on 395. JT Sawyer is on 390. That is going to be the main battle here today, because at the moment JT has got 31 points to drop. Gary has got 29, but of course that might all change over this round, and see him find out everybody else as well. Mike Elliott, Joey Means, Heath Bollinger, Brian Pratt, LePrat, Clyde Comfort, and so on all down. In the Pro-Ams at this moment in time, Bradley Tidwell and Quinton Price are only 15 points apart, and at the moment Tidwell is going to drop 52, Price will drop 43. So we're going to see how, again, this one works out. All scores we're going to give you are provisional guides as well. Let's not forget, obviously, you know, penalties and whatever else is all included will basically get deducted from the scores. So you will have to wait for an official announcement, but we can give you a rough idea on what is coming and who is going to be wrapping it up. In the pros, Bradley Lovins and Josh Herring, 6 points apart at the moment. Again, Lovins is going to drop 49, Herring's going to drop 45. So again, we will see how this one pans out when they start going out on the racetrack. Again, all provisional. Put up the results when we can. Welcome in Cam Fredericks into the booth. Hope you are well and ready for this 90-minute race, which is going to be absolutely amazing. But let's bring Mr. Tom Cairns into the booth. Tom, welcome in. How are you?
Hello, James. Hello to everyone. Yes, we are at the Nurburgring for the season finale of the OGRL, and we've got a cracker of an event. 90 minutes it'll be. We know there will be pit stops. It's a question of whether some will do one and some will do two. And I think if you're one of those points for the championship, that could well help decide, you know, the decision making in the strategy side of things. We've got the pros, the pro-ams, and the ams. As you can see, it's listed on the top of the screen, the keys, so you'll know next to the drivers' names what class they are in. And we are riding ball with Bradley Lovins, who has not been in the lobby for too long, actually. I think he was one of the later arrivals, but he's got a lap on the board anyway as Bradley Lovins, as he's hoping. Oh, he's just gone around the one of the shorter configurations of the course. I'm not sure that's exactly I'm sure he won't be doing that in qualifying the race, hopefully, but you know, he's trying to take a shorter route back to the pits, but they're coming towards the end of the practice session anyway, and so qualifying will commence in a few seconds' time.
Yeah, I think the difference is with Bradley Lovins, he does most of his practice during the week. I think that's the thing for him. He turns up quite late to pretty much every session there as well. I've got to give a big shout out to Curtis Matthews as well. He messaged me earlier on and he asked me to be nice to Curtis currently. So I, you know, me being me, would be interested to find out why. He says, basically, he's going to be even slower than normal as he's racing on new gear. He's got Fanatec CCL on a portable sim rig he built for work. I'm away from home for work, which I run full Sim Magic gear on my home rig. So I'll be playing on this for the next 3 weeks. Completely different feel, which is the first time even testing it out right now. Now, me being me, if anybody knows what I'm like, I just message back saying I'm hearing excuses already. But he did actually send me a picture of his temporary rig, and to be honest, it doesn't look too bad. It's one of the fold-away ones that you can just literally collapse up and drive there as well. The interesting thing is the monitor he's driving on looks about 19 inches, so that's going to be an interesting one for him. We are gone in to qualifying now. We got Mr. Kenny Bourgeois sporting a new livery. It looks absolutely amazing in yellow. I'm so glad to be blatantly honest, but we will see how he can get on. But the main battles will be in the AMs, will be in the Pro-Ams, will be in the Pros. And it's Gary Spencer and JT Sawyer in the AMs. JT is there in his McLaren. Lots on the board for these boys at the moment. Going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. There are 40 competitors, as far as I had counted, at the end of that practice session, so we've got a lot to look forward to during the next quarter of an hour to decide the grid for this last round of the season at the Nurburgring. Given it's 90 minutes, I would expect it to be a 45-minute affair. 45 lap affair, I should say, not 45 minutes affair. But you know, they've got a lot to throw in there during the course of qualifying. It really could set the grid up, and you don't want to be too far away from your rivals either in your respective class. And I think we'll see how they tackle around this circuit. I'm sure they've had a lot of practice either during the week or during that practice session that they've just had. And we are with, who is that's just coming over the line?
JT Sawyer.
In their
That is JT in his McLaren. We'll be just starting his quick lap now. Times will start appearing on the board, and we will see how they get on here as well. Going to be a very interesting circuit, this one, I think. At the end of the day, we've got obviously the full arena section, which is the bit that we're going through now with JT. We'll be coming out of here and then going left on the rundown into the Valvoline curve. So again, it's going to be an exciting one. This track is difficult. I do not like this part of this circuit. Put me on Nords all day. I will drive the 154 corners of Nords all day. Put me on the championship course with about 20 or not even that, 15 corners on, and it all goes to pot. So yeah, not best on this circuit, but I'm sure these guys are better than me. There have been a lot of practice sessions been thrown up. I've seen it all this week. Hosted sessions galore, been chucked up all over the place. I'm hoping some of these have made use of the sessions and use of the practice and the hosted sessions that are available to them. They haven't. Well, it could be an interesting one here as well. What do we think? Where are we looking, Tom, for the main sort of overtaking situations? What are we going to be looking at for, you know, for overtakes? Are we going to be looking down into turn one? Do we think we can get runs up through Schumacher Rest and into the Michelin curve? What's the situation?
Well, I think turn one's going to be the main overtaking spot, really. And you've also got the Dunlop curve they happen, which takes you towards the Schumacher Rest. But it's not the easiest place to get overtakes done around Nurburgring because of the flowing nature of the medium speed corners. And that's why I think qualifying is going to be ever so important for these drivers. As we see JT Sawyer coming over the line very, very shortly. He'll head over the line in a moment. It's that line he'll be heading over. And where does he go? He goes, well, fourth overall, and his lap time is a 1:58 flat. So there is work to do for him.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to keep an eye and see how JT gets on. Top guys at the moment, Damien Horvaten from Freedom Motorsport out in the Porsche on a 154.79. David Van Roy, 155.02. Alan Purser not too far away. Jenna Cheney, John Williams is also in there for the Pro-Ams. But we need the Pro-Ams of Bradley Tidwell and Quinton Price to see where they are. Both of these are on there and in the session, so we'll see how they get on. This is going to affect the Pro-Am standings. It's great that we've got all three championships still up for grabs.
Absolutely so, and they'll be hoping to get a good haul of points, especially the pros. Well, the Pro-Ams and the AMs, because the point system applies to the whole field, not to each separate class. So the higher you finish, the more points you'll get. And so those in Pro-Am and AM will be hoping for a good haul of points here today, which is possible, because if anyone trips over themselves or one mistake from a particular driver that's in a higher class, could make all the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget it's a progressive point system as well, so it's 62 for a win and down the order in ones, so not a massive points gap. These guys are going to have to finish quite far away from the next guy. Obviously for Bradley Tidwell, he's got to be quite far up the road from Price. I should say Price, if Price gets 62, just for instance, to take the win, he needs Tidwell to be 15 places below him. That's the same wherever they are on the standings. So if Price is in 10th, he needs Tidwell down in 25th. Okay, that's basically that simple. The same for Lovins and Merriam. Lovins needs to be ahead 6 places above Brian Merriam. And Gary Spencer needs to be 5 places ahead of JT, or roles reversed. So again, there's a lot there that they basically got to unpack. The point system, as I say, is an easy point system, but the drop squeaks have not been added, so we will have to try and calculate that at the same time. So bear with us. We will try and do our best here as well. Ever been out in a car around this circuit?
No, I haven't actually, but the Nurburgring seems like a kind of track for the drivers to go racing at. And if you're a Nords fan, I was watching some clips yesterday on social media of people, just random civilians pretending to be racing drivers and actually get it all wrong round corners and then just smashing the cars to pieces, which is a rather ill-advised thing to do. But around this Nurburgring course, as much as I've done it on the video game, I've not done it in real life.
No. Me neither. I just know I don't like it on the video game because I can't drive it. It drives me absolutely insane. Welcome in. If you are here for in YouTube chat, let me know as well. Tarina, where are you? You're normally in there, Tarina Chatham there as well, cheering on Quinton Price and Cameron Risley generally. So hopefully, you never know, we will be joined from her as we're on board with Cameron now. Brian Dudkowski in the 99 machine has not got a time on the board. He's just about to hopefully register his fast time for Mr. Dudkowski. And if he doesn't, well, he does, but it's only a banker of a 2:10. That is not a lap time that would be representative of his pace. Kenny Bourgeois at the moment in 8th place on the road in the Pro-Ams, just about to head in over. Oh, and it goes and puts it in the wall. I'm hoping that's a disconnect and not anything major there, or some form of something may have gone wrong. But let's see how these guys all get on. Damien Horvaten still out in front of qualifying, with David Van Roy sitting in second. Waller wasn't at Imola, but is back this week for the Nurburgring. So we'll keep an eye out and see how Mr. David Van Roy gets on. As is by magic, Tarina's here as well. I'm here just having a coffee, aren't we all? Hope you're all having a good day so far. Excited for this one. It should be a fun one, and one that hopefully we'll be able to get through. And just to top it all off, we've got 90 minutes of action. 90 minutes, Tom. Now, I can struggle to keep my concentration for about an hour, but that could be the fact that I'm 46 years of age. Some of these are probably younger than that, but how is it going to be with fatigue and concentration?
Well, you know, a lot of these will be on sims, so I would imagine it's going to be vitally important to keep your concentration intact. There's going to be a lot of muscle needed for these drivers. It could come down to fatigue at the end of the day, but it depends maybe on how they set their sims up differently to how other drivers do.
Yeah. Hopefully it will be comfortable. You never know. One of them might be sat in a chair with a hole underneath. Seen it before. Not gonna lie. Probably not the best though. I wouldn't recommend just sitting. Anyway, moving on, because that can get a little bit gross. Brian LaPratt down in 19th is just on his way through Coca-Cola Curve, the last corner of the circuit in that McLaren. Is he going to be able to pull it into the wall? He is. Can he keep it on track? He can. Stay to the left, dear sir. It's the shortest run. Don't come away from that, because otherwise you add mileage, which adds time, and it's all going to go wrong. LaPratt puts himself up into 13th. Williams, Tidwell, Sporak, Bourgeois, and then Price. Ouch. That needs to be the other way round. Hillerick, Main, Sepulveda, Spencer, Bonte, Sawyer in the AMS. That's the right way round, because Gary Spencer is leading the championship. If JT wants it, he's got to swap it over. Merriam in the front of Roy, and then Herring is then currently in front of Loving. So we'll see how this all pans out here as well. Bradley Lovins, we need a time on the board here, Bert. Otherwise, you are gonna be in trouble. So let's see. He hasn't got long to go now. Eva, Tom, you know, big ask for Bradley Lovins at the moment.
Yeah, he wasn't setting the world alight either in practice, given that he just only arrived quite late. But he is heading over now to, I think this is to begin a lap, because he's only just done an out lap as Lovins. So this is going to be one of two opportunities here. Just looking at the time we've got left, we've got 4 minutes to go, so we'll have time to get 2 laps in just and hope for the best.
Yes. Let's see how Bradley Lovins does here as well, whether or not he's going to be getting the time on the board. I'm sure he will, and I'm sure he's done his practice. Don't forget, if you are here for the first time, like, subscribe, turn on the bells, even if you're here multiple times. Don't forget to like. That would be amazing. Help us out as well. If you want any comments to be seen, drop them down below. We will answer them when we can. It's been a bit of a busy week for comments. I've been shuffling through quite a few. So let us know on down in the comment section below if there are anything you want us to try and see, do, commend, recommend, suggestions. I don't mind. Put them down in the comment section below. We will try and pick them up, of course, on that one. Hope you've all had your morning coffee and your toast. I've had mine. I'm sure Tom's probably had his. Not too sure on the coffee. Tom, do you drink coffee?
I do drink coffee, but I've not had coffee yet today. But I haven't bothered with the toast or cereal or anything like that, because I have been in bed since, well, I was in bed from about 4 o'clock last night until 1 o'clock today, because of my shift finishing as late as it was, because I work over at Formula 1, you see, so my shift sort of span over into the early hours of the morning. So that explains why I didn't have my breakfast like I know a lot of people would.
Yes. Well, I have mine after my morning broadcast. I get up, I'll stay. Right. Very early for me on a Sunday morning, I have to say. Then I had to run downstairs to get ready for an Australian broadcast. So I didn't eat then. Then I did the Australian broadcast, and then I finished that about 12:15, which for you guys in America is even earlier. And then I had some toast with jam. Bradley Lovins on a 156.626 here, sir. You need to get a wriggle on, because this second lap better be an absolute barnstormer, because you do not finish in front of Herring. He might have him on this one. This could be interesting.
Yeah, well, he's got to give it his all around this last lap of this course that is 5.1 kilometers long. I still think of the days of the old Castrol S before they changed that particular section. But Lovins needs to get a move on. He's down in the first sector. But is he going to go green in the second part of the lap? We'll find out in a moment. He needs to get greens and not yellows on his timing graphic. And how is he getting on? Well, it's still yellow in sector 2. It's unlikely he's going to improve on this second lap.
Bradley Lovins, Bradley Lovins, Bradley Lovins. What are you going to do, dear sir? So let's keep an eye out. See what he can do. And at the moment, he ain't going to do anything.
No, he's not finding any time.
Nope.
Lovins, so there's no point in carrying on. One driver has not set a time at all is Curtis Matthews, but he has been out on circuit he just couldn't quite hook together the lap that he needed to have done. So he'll be starting at the back.
Yeah, he did say, obviously, new rig. Excuse Curtis on that one there as well. Only playing Curtis, chill out. So we'll see how he gets on here as well. 20 seconds remaining in qualifying. Nobody is out on the racetrack. Big moments though. Price is behind Tidwell. Loving is behind Herring. And then down in the AMs, we have got Spencer ahead of Sawyer. How instrumental that going to be in the championship. Obviously, we've got the brief 5-minute warm-up now before we'll be able to bring you up the grid. Just judging by the times on the left-hand side, we know roughly where people are going to be. Massive for Lovins, over the fact he's so far behind Herring.
Yeah, so far behind. He's got a lot of work to do. He's got to get by so many of those pro-ams to even get close to Herring. So he's got to hope that Herring has an absolute mare of a start. You've got to make sure you start very well in this one, because if you get caught up in someone else's incident, that could be your race effectively done unless you make the most extraordinary of comebacks. You can see the drivers are in their 5-minute warm-up session. I don't know why we are in need of a warm-up session.
Because they do it every single time, Tom Cairns. Every round. They do quali and then they have a warm-up after. Most people, mind you, will do the warm-up, then quali, then grid. And then if it's 2 races, they might have a warm-up in the middle. But these guys do it a little bit different for them here as well. So, hey, been the same for 12 weeks now. Don't forget, we are going on to a 2-week break, okay? Oh, I hear you here. Oh, no. But don't worry, we will be back in 2 weeks' time after this one. All right, so no panic. It will be okay. But we are on a 2-week break. This is the final one. Time for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, drivers will be raring to go for the next one. I don't know about the calendar. I don't know if that's been sorted out in terms of which circuits they'll be heading to.
I'm hunting. I know there was something announced the other day, but in this very confusing community Discord, I do get a little bit lost. So I am hunting around to see if I can find it. So bear with me, because it was somewhere the other day. I'm sure it was somewhere the other day, but yeah, now in the very confusing Discord that it is. But I will try and find out for you on that one before the end of the broadcast, and we will try and find out where it is. I will message somebody now, see if I can find it there as well.
Well, Lovins is out on circuit. Just wants to try and get some more mileage in before the race gets underway. I mean, you only have time to get one flying lap in it. It'll be the same for everyone. But there you go. You'll be heading over the line. The driver's only doing a recon lap. And then we'll have the 90-minute event coming up very, very shortly. They usually do 1.5 laps. Don't they have a parade level just behind a pace car, and then they do a rolling start just like they did at Imola last week.
No. Yeah, they we've had some issues with X laps where it's been set to half a lap and then we end up doing a lap and a half. So we're hoping it's just will be half or one lap. So, you know, we'll see what happens. Basically, it's just one of them things here as well. Who do you think is going to come out on top?
Good question, actually. I'm looking carefully at the points gap on all of the categories. We'll start with the pros. Lovins has got his work cut out at the moment. Herring looks decent enough, but we've got to remember about the drop score. So Herring's lowest score has been 45 of last week. Lovins' lowest score has been, well, I believe, is 49. So Herring has got everything to gain, really, at the moment. And if he can win today, now given 62 points, and that way it'll add at least 17 points to his score, which means Lovins has to get, well, he's got to better it. He's got to get inside the top 5 really to take the title, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if Lovins gets in the top 5 or the top 6, that should do it.
Yeah. But he's got to be ahead of Heron. And if he's not ahead of Heron, you know, it ain't going to matter. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Grizzly's girlfriend here cheering him on this morning. Let's go, Cameron. There's as well, is it Everly? I'm going to presume that might be the case on that one. 5 seconds to go, warm up. And we'll see who's going to be able to sit back, chill out and relax. And who is there as well. That's my sister, says Tarina. Oh, we got a Chatham Risley affair going on in the YouTube chat. Well, it's nice to meet you anyway. Thank you so much for joining us here as well. Right, let's see what goes on as the grid will be up now, and then we can get this 90-minute race underway. Damien Horvaten in first place, Ryan Merriam in second, David Van Roy in third, Josh Herring fourth, Alan Purser in fifth, and Bill Backer sixth, Jeremy Shaney, Barry Acker take leads in the Pro-Ams with Dan Svorak and Jonathan Williams. Bradley Tidwell in 11th, and then Cole Modric is down in 12th. Kenny Bourgeois in 13th. Quinton Price 14th. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Bradley Lovin's down in 15th. Ouch, Brad. Brian LaPratt 16th, then Pano Hanley, Justin Koch, James Hillerick, Michael Chaplin, Joey Means. Philippe De La Cruz is in 21st. Joey Means, Brian Dukowski, and Marshall Crocker Jr. in 24th. Jeff Sepulveda, Gary Spencer in 26th. Then you got Rick Modric, Cody Bronte. JT Sawyer behind Spencer. Cameron Risley down in 30th, ladies. Brian Hoskins 31st. Chase Allgreat 32nd. Keith Bollinger, Jose Valentin, Brett Basil, and Mike Elliott round out the top 36. Matthew Brennan, Scott Carlson, Ryan Henderson, and Curtis Matthews at the back. And then let's see. Pace car lights are out, so we should be green straight away here on this half lap. But let's see how they will get on. Why is there an incident in the back of the field? Hoping that's just people checking up. It is. Nobody really causing himself any dramas. But let's see how it goes on here to do with this, as these 90 minutes are going to be up and underway. Damien Horvaten around the final corner. Where is Merriam? Heron's just got to keep it on the circuit. Horvaten has already gone. I think, ladies and gentlemen, the racing is up and running, and we are green. Horvaten didn't even wait. He did not even wait at all. He waited for them to come around the corner and then bolted. Ryan Merriam went with him. David Van Roy, Josh Herring, keep it on the race circuit. Cole Modric, Jonathan Williams in there. Bourgeois in there. Somebody's round the other way. That's Alan Purser. Bourgeois is also round. Oh, Alan Purser's round, Kenny Bourgeois round. There's another one. Big lock up on the right-hand side there for Jeremy Cheney. Bill Backer's gone down the order. He's facing the opposite way. What has gone on? Bradley Lovins has crashed. Unfortunately for Brad. Oh, no. It's all gone a little bit wrong for some of these people. He's down in 17th now. Bradley Lovins trying to make places up, going past Michael Chaplin. But I can tell you one thing, that was a start and a half for most of the grid here, and it has all gone wrong for some of them. It's gone wrong to the point where we've got Barry Acker, the leading Pro-Am, sitting in 5th overall. Price has gained 3 places. He is in behind Tidwell. Spencer's still ahead of Sawyer, but I can tell you what, Price and Tidwell, it's going to be an interesting one for these next race. But oh my God, there as well. That was absolutely chaotic, Tom.
That was very chaotic indeed, and so many drivers getting involved in the incident. So this goes back to what I was saying about keeping out of trouble on the first lap, as that can really compromise your race between now and the end. Even though it is a 90-minute event, they need to try and keep it clean throughout the first lap, and some of them weren't quite able to do so. I was looking on the timing side to see whether Bradley Lovins had fallen down the order. He's only down in 16th position, so he's got a lot of work to do and get through at the very minimum the AMs and the Pro-Ams if he can do it.
Oh, Bourgeois jumps to the pits. Oh, Kenny. Not going to be best impressed is Mr. Bourgeois of this. And is he our first retirement? Well, I'm going to just see what goes on for Kenny Bourgeois. But Barry Acker leading the Pro-Ams with Cheney, Williams and Svorak. In behind him, a blinking Cole Modric, and not blinking as in there, blinking as in he's blinking in there as well. But Bradley Tidwell, Quinton Price, the battle in the Pro-Ams. Price needs to be, believe it or not, 15 places above Tidwell. Not quite sure how he's going to do that, but let's see what goes on once more. Damon Ovey and Ryan Merriam close together. Ben Roy, Herring, keep it on the racetrack, buddy. The championship is yours after this. JT Sawyer, you've got to climb positions, dear sir. You've got to get up at least, what have we got at the moment, 4 or 5 or 6 positions up to Gary Spencer. What's going on at the start? My goodness, nails biting already, says Tarina in YouTube chat. And to be honest there, it was a little bit chaotic, but some people have benefited from it, Quinton Price being one of them. Some people that haven't benefited of it is Bradley Lovins there as well.
Yeah, we're seeing some drivers dropping down the order quite drastically. Dan Svorak, who was running towards the top end in the Pro-Ams, has fallen down big time. So he's hit trouble somewhere. But Havatin, Merriam, and the others trying to make their way through rounds. The second lap of this course, the 5.1 kilometre. Ben Roy in third place as well. Josh Herring fourth. Herring, as it stands, will take the Pro Class title. And looking further down in the Pro-Ams to see where everyone is, it looks like Bradley Tidwell could well have it in his pocket as it stands. Because remember, Quinton Price's worst score has been 34, and Bradley Tidwell's worst score has been 38. So Price has a better chance of increasing his score than Tidwell by that theory, but Tidwell has a 15-point. He had a 15-point cushion coming into this last race. And given where Price is at, well, Tidwell could well have the Pro-Am Championship in his pocket. But looking down in the AMs, looking where everyone is, Gary Spencer, looking at where he is in the order, he's just been overtaken by Dukovsky, but that doesn't matter too much because Dukovsky's in the Pro class. Spencer's currently fourth in class, and given where JT Sawyer is, who's a little bit further down, Spencer would take the AM title.
Yeah. Sawyer is down in 7th, Spencer is 4th, Price is 4th, Tidwell 3rd, Lovins is 8th, Herring is 4th. The lot still to go, but it's not about where they are like that, it's about where they are like this. It doesn't matter that Lovins is 4th in class, Lovins is 13th on the road, Herring is 4th on the road. There's a lot of cars in the middle of all of this, and that is the drama. And Lovins has got no bumper on that front end of the Porsche at all. So what little downforce it does give him, it ain't going to give it to him. You can see he's smiling like Lightning McQueen at the moment there, that Porsche, and he's unfortunately going to be struggling. Herring just got to keep it on the track. Barry Acker leading the Pro-Ams. Great action so far, but I don't think the start has really benefited some of these people.
Well, Chee's right behind Acker here, so how does Acker take this one? As Cheney goes up the inside, if he doesn't really fight it, does he? Acker will probably let Cheney go through it. Oh, no, he doesn't. He retaliates. He's taken the racing line into the chicane before the end of the lap. And so Acker holds on for now, but will Cheney and those behind think about sending it into turn 1? We'll find out in a moment. And it looks like Acker just had a bit of a problem there, but he's still in play. And so Cheney's still trying to look up the inside, but he has to watch out for Williams, who's in the Pro-Am class. Jonathan Williams, that is. He's looking to try and make his way through, but to no avail. But going back to what I was saying, Herring on course for the Pro title. Pro-Am, it's Tidwell, and in the AMs, it's Gary Spencer.
Yep, and at the moment, which might seem crazy 7 minutes in, that's where we're at due to the fact of who we've got off track and where they are at this moment in time. Cody Bonte's just gone off there, so JT Sawyer is still in 24th, Spencer's in 20th. So he's still got places to gain, Spencer. Again, with the Tidwell price scenario, it's got to be 15 places between Tidwell and Price. The Price has not only got to pull out a flat miracle out of somewhere, he's also got to hope that Tidwell has some form of drama. This is where the pit stops are going to come into play. This is where you're going to gain positions. This is where, you know, you're going to sit back and think, what can I do? Can I go in? Can I not go in? Can I jump? Can I move up? Can I get quality times in? That's all on the board here. It's like a game of chess in this season finale right now, Tom, because there's people that seriously need to be ahead of their rivals.
Yeah, well, Lovins most certainly needs to get ahead of all this and get to the rear of Heron at some point. But now Lovins has got someone within his own class chasing him down. That would be Marshall Crocker Jr., who's competing for the 785 Racing Squad. Canadian in the Ford. Right on the tail there, Lovins all over the back of... Who's that ahead of him? That's Brian LaPlatte.
Yeah,
Brian
leading the
LaPlatte,
Ams.
It's going to be quite tricky. It's going to be quite tricky for Lovins to get through, but it seems as though he has the inside line into turn one, and this shouldn't be too much of a problem for him here.
No, but he hasn't got a bumper. Whether or not that's playing a major difference over the people in and around him. I think the issue now is it might not play an issue with LaPlatte or saying that, as I say that, LaPlatte's just gone round. Stay where you are. Stay!
Dangerous.
All right.
Shocking.
He's just lost his own bumper, and I think he might have taken off Dudkowski's in the process. That pink machine of Dudkowski did get a little bit of knock there, and unfortunately for him, it could have cost him. I think we've lost Kenny Bourgeois all together. Dudkowski's damaged Porsche trying to go at the inside of Means is trying to go around the outside. Different classes, Joey. Not really sure you're needing to fight this one, buddy. The next one you need to fight is the man in behind you now, is Mr. Gary Spencer. That's your fight, Joey. That's the man that JT Sawyer wishes you to hold up for as long as physically possible. So that's still going on at the same time. Acker, though, doing a stellar job. 5th overall, Tom, and literally leading the Pro-Ams.
Let's see where Acker is in the standings, actually, in Pro-Am. 5th in the standings coming into this round. He has missed a race already this season, which is fine because that can be used as the job score. And if he can get a good haul of points, he could all of a sudden end up 3rd in the Pro-Am Championship by the end of today's race.
Well, let's see how Means gets on here. Where is he sitting? He's sitting in 4th at the moment over Elliott. Where's Mike Elliott? How far down are you? You're in 27th. Means is in 18th. So a big pile of points that Joey Means might be able to gain on him. He needs 11 at this moment in time, and he is going to get 10. One more place, dear sir. One more place. You can see the action going on up front with Cole Modric mixing it in with Barry Acker. Acker's lost that lead to Williams. Jonathan Williams has overtaken him. Acker's going to sleep up the inside. Williams has just made a mistake. He's going to come across. Where is Modric? He's going to go around the outside. Is Cole Modric. He ran in deep. He ran in deep. That was the problem for Williams.
Well, I thought he might have had a problem there because it looked like he pulled to the side off the racing line, but no, it looks like he'd gone way too deep into turn 3, did Williams, and he was able to recover it. But he did get by Acker a moment before, and for some reason he just managed to throw it away and fall back down again.
He did. But now he's ahead. He's in front of the championship leader Tidwell. He's got the championship 2nd place. Right in behind him is Quentin Price. So we'll have to keep this one on and see how this is going. Where is Lovins? He's 12th. I told you. That bumper may not have affected him with some of the slower... okay. Yeah, I'm going to say slower drivers, but that's no disrespect to anybody in behind Lovins. But now he's getting into the cruise. Now getting into... Oh, Joey. Spacing the wrong way. Oh, bro. That's dropped you down behind Mike Elliott now. That may have just cost you, Joey Means, on that one. And unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to really cover at the moment. But I tell you what, Price is throwing everything at Tidwell. Everything on that car at Tidwell. and they've got a train developing. They've got Cruz, who's just gone and tried to go up the inside. He has made it through. Lovins has made it through. That was Justin Cope. They've just gone through. But it's going to be here now. This is where it's going to be. Price has got to get that bull spirit out of him, and he's got to go for Tidwell. He's got to try and make it past. He needs that 15th-place gap.
Well, not only does he need to get by him, but he needs to make it as difficult as he can, make it as robust but clean as he can as he gets by Tidwell, so that the drivers behind can make their way through on Tidwell at the same time. But I think Price has made he almost lost it actually through turn 2 and has dropped back a little bit.
Yes. I'm sure he'll close that gap up. Cruz is in there, Lovins is in there. You can see the tower. Anything in orange is below half a second. White is above 1 second, and yellow is half a second to a second. So there's still lots of action going on. I am trying to get hold of Mr. Kenny Bourgeois, who is out, but might be a little bit upset. I'm not going to push the situation on that one. So we'll try and keep it, if I can, if I can't, no worries, Ken. Have a good day on that one here as well. Acker now back leading the Pro-Ams after Williams' mistake. Merriam, though, is being closed in from David Van Roy. This could be an exciting one as we go literally with about an hour and 15 on the clock.
Heading into the last corner, Merriam ahead of Van Roy as they head over the line to begin lap number 8. So far, so good for the Croatian Damien Horvatin. And just see Merriam holding on to P2. We can see Van Roy just trying to find a different line to get out of the turbulent air prior to turn 1. But Josh Herring is doing all he needs to do. In fact, he's got no one really around him, has he?
No.
Josh Herring. He's got, how far is he ahead now of Cheney? Because he's quite a distance ahead.
Yeah, 8.3 seconds ahead of Cheney, but 7.3 behind Van Roy. So he's in that kind of no man's land. That's what we call it, where you're just driving around on your Todd here, trying to make sure that you don't make any crazy, silly, overzealous mistakes, because that's basically what you're going to end up doing if you're not careful. So for Herring, although he's got nobody in and around him, he's going to be a very, 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 very carefully, and just to make sure he can get round the end of the race, to be blatantly honest with you, because at the moment, still out in front. Being here every Sunday is raising my stress. Wouldn't change it for the world, but man, it is. It doesn't. You'd be in my position, my love. I do this about 4 times a day. It's stressful every single day on this one when you're trying to calculate maths and everything else all at the same time. But I will say one thing for Quinton. Philippe de la Cruz and Bradley Lovins are now in front of him, and Tidwell is off down the road in that Lamborghini. That is not what Price needed. He's hoping that de la Cruz and Lovins will pull him back, will pull him forward and Tidwell back, because at the moment it needs to be the other way round. Down in the hands, oh my boy, oh boy, JT Sawyer, Gary Spencer are right next to each other on track. JT needs to be 5 seconds up the road on that one. JT in the McLaren, Gary Spencer in that Corvette currently, and they've got Bill Backer behind in the Mustang. So again, the AMs have come back together, the Pro-Ams have come back together, but the Pros still just quite far apart from each other.
Yeah, I would say so. And the Pro-Am's doing a fine job so far. A lot of them, you know, Acker, Williams, Tidwell up there, Price, and the others, Justin Cock as well, and the, Michael Champlin in the 520 Sim Racing 8-bit racing squad. No, that's just 2 separate teams he's sort of racing for. But we've got Chase Algray. Yeah, Chase Algray's gone round.
There he has. That's freed up Gary Spencer and JT Sawyer. They are literally nose to tail, near enough. JT, you've got to decide what you're going to do with Backer here, mate. You've either got to let him go, or you've got to stay in front of him. You can't be defending from Barry Acker, but you need to go forward. It does have for Bill Backer. You need to go forward. So you either let Bill go and follow him, or you hope that he pulls you into Gary Spencer. There's no kind of 50-50 on that one, I think, Tom. He's either got to make a decision, let him go or follow him through, because either way, he cannot afford to lose time to Gary Spencer here.
No, and he's got to get on with it now, as JT Sawyer, if he's to have any hope of the championship. But there's also the pit stops to bear in mind. Will anything dock into the pits within the next few laps, or wait and see? If you're going to do the 2-stop, you may want to think about doing it rather soon, but not too soon. Yeah.
You've got to make sure you can get to the end. That's the question, right? That's the thing. You've got to make sure you can get to the end. And either way you're going to try and do this, you just got to be aware of what's going on. But these AMs, this is the lead. JT! Oh, he's got on the inside of Spencer. Is he going to stop it? Oh, he did. JT Sawyer up through the Michelin curve, coming through Vashsteiner, has literally made that move past Spencer. He needs Bakker to go and do it now as well. Fruad Van Bogan coming into the NGK. JT Sawyer, one position ahead. That's 1 point, JT. You just got to need another 5 there, buddy. So he's going to have to try and get on a little bit more, as he's got Brian Hoskins up the road. And Bill Bakker has just got in front of Gary. That's 2 points, Bill. JT is going to pull back. He only needs 3 more. But then with John Weeks, we're going to see how it all works out here once again when we're trying to do maths halfway through a broadcast. So, well, it might not be right, but great move from JT at that time.
Was very much so. That was probably the overtake of the season, or one of the overtakes of the season there from JT Sawyer up the inside into the left-hander of the Michelin curve. We're just seeing Bill Bakker there, who has got Gary Spencer for company. He got by him at the last turn before the pit straight. It almost looked like that Spencer was going to come back at him, but I think he's just got to let Bakker go because he knows that Bakker is a quicker driver.
Yeah. I think for Spencer, follow Bill. It was the last time hashtag pray for Bill last season. The poor man couldn't finish a race with any form of part of his car all in one piece. Bless him. But this season, not been too bad for Bill. Managed to finish a few. Has changed over from the Ferrari into that Ford Mustang. Don't you touch it. Bill Bakker on that one. Oh, that was close. See, this is where for JT I'd let him go now. He's climbing all over the back here. You know what I mean? He's like a baby monkey picking fleas off his mum. I would seriously let him go at this moment in time. He's clearly got pace and is a lot quicker.
Yeah, we'll see if he can maybe do it into NGK. Bakker all over the back of Sawyer as they exit the right-hander before they head towards the King. And Bakker's not close enough. He'll probably just have to wait until the last turn to get the overtake completed.
Yeah. Absolutely. Is he going to go and dive through in NGK? No. Yep. Oh, that might have been... that might have been a slowdown as well for Bakker. But JT, though, is probably going to help him out massively because he needs these cars in behind. With this progressive system, the more cars between JT and Gary, the more chance JT has got of taking the points. Progressive, what we mean is 62 for the win, 61, 60, 59, all the way through, right the way down to 1 through the order. It's not 62 for the win in pros, 62 for the win in amps, and 62 for the win in pro amps. It's just one score system. So it means the higher you are, the more points you score. Okay, that's the situation currently at this moment in time. For JT, he needs as many cars between him and Gary Spencer as possible because he needs as many points as possible. The same for Lovins and Tidwell. They are now, not Lovins and Tidwell, Quentin Price and Tidwell, and Lovins and Merriam. It's all got to be pit stops on this, Tom. I think that's the thing. It's now borderline that the pit stops are going to be so crucial they could make or break your race.
Well, Price has got Lovins ahead of him now, and Lovins will just want to dispose of Tidwell rather swiftly. But if he's going to get stuck in traffic, Lovins, he may have to consider doing a pit stop.
Too early. Too early. It's only been 22 minutes, so there's no way on 65% it'll go in yet. you've got to look at where you're going to be for the next one. I think on the 55 minutes they go in around about 35 to 45 if they've saved a bit of fuel. Now 45 minutes, obviously, if we base that as a point line for pit stop number 1, baseline 45 minutes for pit stop number 2, that will be the hour, and that will be the 90. So they've got to run out what they've got to see how far they can go to minimize the amount of fuel they've got to take on. They've got to lift and coast, try and save as much as possible to try and extend to be able to take the least amount of fuel on for the next one. If they're not doing that, well, it's possible that they may be stuck on a 2-stopper, but it's also possible that if you just save a bit, 2 laps, a lap, whatever you possibly can, you might be all right, Tom, but it's whether or not they're going to be able to save that lap, because at the moment, Price and Tidwell are in sort of mid-pack battles. They're battling away, you know. Price is not trying to lose as much time to Lovins. Lovins is trying to get past Tidwell. Tidwell's trying to go up to Dela Cruz and Williams. So there's a lot going on for these guys at the moment, but when are they going to turn around and make the decision that they've got to sit back and try and save at least 1 lap of fuel?
Well, that's for them to decide. The leads are almost coming up to back markers as we speak. Horvath and Merriam are not too far off the likes of Purser and Henderson. We've got just the 3 drivers out so far. Dan Svorak is out, Curtis Matthews is out, Kenny Bourgeois is out as well, and 37 still going. Scott Carlson, who is down a lap at the moment, he's still going. He's got himself a lot of work to do. And going back to the battle between Champlin, who's in 16th position, just behind Justin Koch, and James Hillerick, who's the next car ahead, and then it's Marshall Crocker Jr., and then further up ahead it's Quinton Price and Bradley Lovins.
Yeah, it's not going to affect the championship. Chaplin needs to be ahead of Gainesville, which I haven't actually seen today. So for Chaplin, he might be able to move up 1 place to 8th. He's got Brian Hoskin in front of him, who is behind him on the road, but again, he is too far back there. In fact, he's 60 points back. There was no hope that Chapman's going to get any more than 8th here today from Michael Chapman. So that could be his finishing position, but the fact that Gainesville is not here. Joey Means, however, that is Brett Basil beside us, and then Mike Elliott is the man that we need to get hold of, but he's 6 seconds down the road at the moment. That's not really materialising. Dela Cruz just past Jonathan Williams. He's now pushed Williams down into Tidwell, who's there in the Lambo. There's Lovins. Where are you? There he is, the yellow machine of Price. So there's still action taking place. It is still open. But the question will be, and it will be the question of the day, who's going to take the first jump into the pit stops, and how are they going to get on to make sure they get through? Because I will tell you now, if they speed in the pit stop, 40-second stop and go hold, 40-second hold, that, if you do one of them, Tom, will throw your race right open.
Yeah, and if you're one of the championship contenders, you just need to make sure they don't fall foul of that. And so Jonathan Williams is in 10th place, is he going into the lot? No, 9th, sorry, is Williams. Sorry, apologies for that. He is behind Dela Cruz in 8th, and Acker, who's the Pro-Am leader, in 7th place. But Lovins is still stuck behind Bradley Tidwell.
Yep. And unfortunately for him, his gap to Josh Herron is over 15 seconds. What's the points difference? 6. But it's going to throw open a massive spanner in the works here. Ryan Merriam and Damien Horvath have just kind of been following them. Now, what I will say, during all of this, when we've been focusing on everybody else, this man slowly edged forward. That's David Benroy. You can see Ryan Merriam, Josh Herring, last time around, 1.1 seconds slower than David Benroy. Benroy has pulled out of a chunk in that Mustang, and he is having a right old go to try and catch up to these two. And if they're not careful, because they've been, do-dallying and dallying around, David Benroy is going to say, thank you very much here, I'll have this place away.
Well, Venroy is still going after Horvaten and Merriam in the fight for the win. But Josh Owen is continuing to drop back now. The gap between him and the trio is 14 seconds.
But how much do we think of a difference that's going to make to him? The only thing he needs to worry about is where keeping that 16-second gap back to a man that can't clear Bradley Tidwell, because Tidwell's doing the same pace as him. And for him, Lovins' last lap 50.69, Tidwell, 50.69, Tidwell on a, no, 56.9 for Tidwell, 56.5 for Lovins. So he's only 4 tenths quicker, but yet he hasn't got a bumper on that car at the moment either. So it's not going to help him in any shape or form. You can see there for Tidwell, that Porsche is just wide open at the moment. And again, Lovins is quicker than Tidwell once more. So how close is Lovins going to get, or is he using Tidwell to save fuel?
We'll see, but Tidwell has got Lovins all over the back, and Lovins just cannot find a way through. And that bumper that's gone missing on his machine has not helped one bit.
No, not at all. That's what I just said. He literally, he can't use the bumper. He's got no pace from that bumper over the people in and around him. That he's literally, holding him up and around the likes of Jonathan Williams, because at the moment he can't clear anybody who's in front of him. He can't clear Tidwell. So does he use it for fuel saving, Tom?
Well, he could do if he wanted to. He slots up in the slipstream, which will help with speed, and he won't have to be on the power as much coming out of the corners. But you could just see on the apex there, Tidwell making a mistake on the entry to Dunlop, but Lovin's not able to move forward. This is going to frustrate Lovins even more now. This has got to be his moment to get by Bradley Tidwell if he is to have any hope of catching Josh Herring for the sake of the championship.
I don't believe he's got the pace. I don't think that car's got the pace in it. I don't think it's going to be possible unless Tidwell makes a mistake. But what it does mean is Quinton Price needs to be pulled into this, needs to close this up. There is the yellow McLaren behind the Lamborghini, behind the Porsche, and at the moment, for him, he's a little bit far back, 3.6 seconds. Needs them to fight, but Tidwell is not, for Lovins, he's not fighting Tidwell. He's not giving that aggressive nature, that aggressive movement round the last corner. You'll see him pull out, and at the end of the day, he's just not showing that aggressiveness that he needs here to really show Tidwell he's got an intent, and he hasn't got that at the moment.
Well, Tidwell's going too deep into turn 1 there, and Lovins is not able to take advantage, and he's going to be frustrated even more being set behind him. We've got a couple of drivers in the pits now, James. We've got Koch and Hillerick who have gone in, so they're the first to come in for a scheduled stop, and given they're at the half-hour point, the third way mark, it's perhaps they're going to be doing a 2-stop.
Tidwell and Lovins now. Tidwell made a mistake. Now Lovins is going to run alongside him. Tidwell's going to let him go through, which I think could be a mistake here, because I don't know if Lovins has got the pace to get away from you. But let's see how Lovins does now and whether or not he can. The gap that I thought was going to come down has come down. Damien Horvaten, that is a Ferrari of Ryan Henderson, who really needs to be removing himself from an equation he doesn't need to be in. That is not good, dear bro. You didn't have to do that for yourself. You could have just lifted on the straight. You could have lifted before they get there, as Ryan Henderson then goes into the pit lane. That, for me, I don't get that whatsoever.
No,
he's not fighting anybody. He's well away from anybody. Why take him down to the straight? And you can see now that's opened up Horvaten for Merriam to attack. David Venroy is in there. He's battling here, and Venroy just can't get through either. I don't get that. I don't understand that manoeuvre.
Well, if David Horvaten is shaking his head, he has every reason to, because that was so poor from Ryan Henderson, the way he refused to move out of the way. I mean, he didn't allow Horvaten through. Horvaten had to fight his way through ahead of him, which should never have been the case. And so, I think Henderson perhaps deserves a slap on the wrist for that, because that could have affected the whole race.
And all he did is killed his own race by going offline. And you didn't have to do that either. If you'd have just let him go through on that straight, on that run, down from Varsteiner, down through Van Boga and then into NGK, he would have still been on the racetrack. But battling, and he just goes and puts himself off the side of the circuit. I really don't understand that, to be totally honest with you. But there you go, that's just me. I'm up here in the booth, and clearly I drive at a different kind of tempo and level to these guys as well. But I tell you what, one man that is driving to a decent level, David Van Roy at the moment, is absolutely flying and is now closed right back up to the guys in front. Ryan Merriam, Damien Horvaten could be in trouble.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We'll see how they get on. We're looking at the battle for the lead involving Horvaten, Merriam and Van Roy as they come towards the NGK chicane for the 17th time in this race. Need to think about when they're going to be pitting in as well, because we've seen more drivers heading for the pits. Will any of them decide to head in at the end of this? The answer is no, so they carry on as they are. I'd imagine they're going to be on one stop, James.
Yeah, possibly. I think they've broken into that half minute, but they've still got 57 minutes on the clock. So there's still a lot of work for these guys to do. James Hillerick is at a moment as well. At 52, 53 lap time, pit lane times we've seen. So if anybody comes out with over a minute 30, we know they've got to stop and hold. And that is what we're looking for with the likes of some of the guys up front. Because Tidwell and Price are back on the racetrack together. Oh, as Price goes in, you've got to get that car stopped there, buddy. Otherwise, you could be in deep trouble. And he does. Looks like he's going to get it brought down to speed quite early. But Quinton Price, first man out in front to jump.
Can this be an undercut work perfectly for Price for the sake of his race to win in Pro-Am, for this race at least anyway? We'll wait and see. But now we are looking at the battle involving Gary Spencer, who has got, who's that behind Spencer? That's Jeff Sepulveda as they head through the last corner, the right-hander before the pit straight. And Price will be hoping to get out in some clean air, because that is what he will want. And I'm not 100% sure whether he'll get that here, in all honesty. As they head towards turn number one, Gary Spencer doing everything he needs to do. He is behind JT Sawyer, but he's only one position back from him, and that should be the AM title sorted for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Pumpkin's toast in YouTube chat. Spencer's wife, let's go. Woohoo! Have a good day. Have a good race all. And then it's like, I came, I saw, I mic dropped, I left. For Pumpkin there as well in YouTube chat. So much appreciated you joining us there as well. And great name, by the way, as well. Pumpkin toast. Never had that. Is it nice? Let me know in the YouTube chat there as well. But Gary Spencer at the moment doing everything he needs to do to stay in front of JT Sawyer, to stay there and try and keep that within 5 points. It's literally got to be 5 points. Spencer cannot be no more than 5 places behind JT, because otherwise it will go to JT. I've got a funny feeling with the drop weeks. Bradley Lovins breaking away from Tidwell a little bit. Marshall Cocker Jr., Michael Chaplin. Don't forget that all of these have not pitted. Felipe de la Cruz is the first man in the pit lane. And then you've got Padal Hanalei in behind that as well. Where is Quinton Price? He came out in fresh air just, but he has got Mike Elliott, Joey Means, Jose Valentin all in front of him. So for Quinton, it's got to be quali lap now until the likes of Tidwell goes in the pits here. That's what he's got to try and achieve at the moment.
Well, they've got Williams in the pits now. Jonathan Williams, who is in. And we'll see whether Price will get ahead of him. He should be able to. So I think he was ahead of him before the pit stops had arrived. But so far, in terms of the race, in terms of cleanliness, apart from lap one, it's been a rather... It hasn't been a dirty one. Let's just put it this way. It's been fine so far. Price coming around the last corner. Is he going to get ahead of Jonathan Williams?
No, Williams was ahead of him on the road. For Quinton, it's all about what Tidwell does. I think the aim is in and around Tidwell, Crocker Jr. and Chaplin. That's where Price needs to be, because otherwise he's going to be too far away there. Without sounding nasty almost. He needs Tidwell to get a speeding penalty or something. Something's got to happen, should we say, for Quinton Price. I'm not saying he's going to wish it on people at this moment in time, but you know, but they're racing drivers, all right? As much as they do say, I love the person in front of me, they are still racing them. Ben Roy has taken an early pit stop. He's ahead of the guys in front. Josh Heron is there, also gone into the pit, so it's now going to be what Lovins is going to do. Lovins needs to, if he can, and has got the fuel to, needs to go one more lap. He needs to go in front of Heron. This is the moment, though. The Pro-Ams is going to be thrown wide open. Tidwell is in pit lane. Oh, that was close on the shifter for Tidwell. But where are you now, Quinton Price? Oh, you're a long way away. You are a long way away. This is going to be interesting.
Well, he was quite some way behind Tidwell anyway, was Price, so I can't imagine he'll get ahead of him this time around.
No, he was only about 2 seconds down the road. Quinton Price behind Tidwell. Tidwell is stopped. He's in the pits. His tyres are going on. Let's put tyres on, which might shorten the length of the lap time. Is he on his way out? He is. Where are you, Quinton? Oh, you're coming around the final corner. And I've got a funny feeling you're not going to get there. Don't think he's going to get there.
Tidwell's already out of the pits, James,
yeah,
I think.
He's out and down the road. So Quinton Price still behind Jose Valentin and Joey Means and Bradley Tidwell. And unfortunately for him, that did not work out so well for him.
Well, that didn't work out for Price at all, but for Tidwell, as far as the Pro-Am Championship is concerned, looking at the standings again just to make sure, he is looking very, very strong for that, and Price on course to finish second, unless anything drastic happens to Tiswell between now and the end of the race. But we've got the two leaders of Pro, Holvaton and Merriam, both in the pits.
Yeah, they're in. It's going to be where David Van Roy is. He's on his way out of Bosteiner down through Ad Van Bogan, and then coming into the NGK. Have they stopped? They have just. Both men have stopped. Both men up on the jacks. Both men know we've got to try and escape the GT3 of David Van Roy, and at the moment they're still stationary. There are the guys in front. Damien Holvaton is now going to should have started moving by now, and if he hasn't, oh, Van Roy's here. Van Roy is here. This is going to be really close. There's Holvaton at the bottom of your screen. Van Roy has cleared Merriam, but I don't think he's going to get Holvaton. Holvaton does come out in front at this moment in time. What's going down in the AMs here? Where are you? JT Sawyer, he is up here in first place going into the pit lane. And obviously for him, with JT Sawyer alongside, is Gary Spencer. So Spencer's already, I believe, been into the pits. Whereabouts are you, Gary? Down in 29th, on your way up. Oh, again, another man with quite a long way to go.
Yeah, well, he's got to get through the NGK chicane as well. And so I would say he'll probably get out in front of it. I'm just going on the basis of Gary Spencer being in clear air, because he got clear air when he made his stop, and now he's going to use that to his advantage to complete an undercut on JT Sawyer.
Is he though, considering still going through NGK and JT has stopped? Whoa, steady. Gary's there. JT's on his way out. JT's on his way out. He's coming down now.
He's got him, James.
He's got him.
Spencer.
Yeah. Oh, Gary Spencer's in front of JT. There you go. And he only needed 5 points, and he only needed to be above him 5 points, 5 places. And at the moment, he is above him, but only by 1 place. So, yeah. 48 minutes to go. Can they go to the end? I don't think they can go to the end.
No, I don't think so either. I think it could be a rather splash and dash. If it is, it'll be a shorter pit stop, which will spice things up even more with the one-stoppers.
Yep. Lovins is still far behind Heron, although it was 16 seconds It's now 20 for Lovins. It's all kind of unravelled. It's been like a ball of wool here for Bradley Lovins. And at the moment, it's all unravelling. So Bradley Lovins still not there. Cheney's on his way out as well. Heron's in front of him. Yeah, unfortunately, it did not work out. It didn't look like the undercut was any good here.
No, and Lovins has got Tidwell all over in front of him. And even he's proven to be a difficult cork in the bottle to open, safe to speak.
Yeah, I agree. I think at the end of the day, it's all about what's going to be able to go on here. And at the moment, nothing is going to be able to go on. It's just they're kind of stuck once again. And it's very, very difficult here. Just give me 2 seconds. I believe we're having some issues with sound, which I'm trying to resolve, so bear with me on that one.
Well, I think we've had a spin at turn 4. I'm looking to see who that was that had that spin. I think it might have been Hillary that had the spin, but there you go. We've got 3 drivers in. Oh no, Persis in the pits. My apologies. I'm probably looking at the wrong driver. But we've got Lovins who's still behind Tidwell and Williams, which is not ideal for his race. And so he's going through Dunlop once more. But the championship is slipping further and further away from Bradley Lovins. He needs to essentially get through on Josh Heron, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening any time soon.
Yeah, definitely does not here. Got a funny feeling we just lost sound. Not sure why the sound has decided to do that. That's never good idea, but bear with us on that while we do try and resolve that issue. As the sound has gone away. Bear with me on that one there, Tom. You carry on for 2 seconds.
Well, we've got 2 drivers just making their way through the back marker, Tidwell and Lovins. We've got Cheney who's in the pits. As they come round, is Cheney going to come out of the pits or is he just come in? Well, either way, Tidwell and Lovins have got through anyhow. And they can get on with their own race. And they head through turn 1. No problem there for either of them. Cheney will be coming out of the pits very, very shortly. But it's Horvaten from Van Roy and it's Marion who's another 4 seconds back from that battle. And then Heron is a long way back, but he doesn't need to worry about those lot. He just needs to focus on beating Bradley Lovins by the time the checker flag comes out. But Lovins is having a really, really frustrating one today. After that tangle at the beginning, which saw his front bumper come off, which has not helped with the handling or with the downforce of the car. And so they'll be heading down to Dunlop. Will Tidwell, on course for the Pro-Am title, goes in a little too deep into Dunlop, and Lovins not able to go through on that open door. He needs to be right on the tail on the exit of the last corner and then sending into turn 1, providing he can pull away from him.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye and see how it goes on here as well. Bear with us as we're still continuing to fight a little bit of a few demons here with the race sound, or it's all of a sudden just cut right off on us. As I continue to have and see what we can do here. Give me 2 seconds. Just going to pop you on the screen. 2 seconds where we can try and adjust this sound issues. Just seen Lovins go past Tidwell. I'll be right back as soon as I can. Right, hopefully that would have resolved some of the problems, and hopefully the game sound is back up and running for you. That would be absolutely awesome if it is. Saves us a whole heap of trouble, but yeah, thanks so much for joining us back again, and apologies for that one. But yeah, lots of action still taking place here, Tom. Coming down now to the final 45. How are we looking at this moment? Who's going to be where and who's going to win what?
Well, Horvaten in the lead of the Pro class, but he's not in the running for the championship. Josh Heron is, along with Bradley Lovins, who a moment ago was allowed through by Bradley Tidwell. So that's that battle done. But Lovins has got the next driver of Jonathan Williams up there he'll need to dispose of before he can get up to the back of the set of pro drivers. But as it stands, Josh Heron will be taking the pro championship in the pro-ams. Following the recent pit stops, Bradley Tidwell is on course to win that ahead of Quinton Price. He's a couple of places ahead of him on the road, and that'll be more than enough for Tidwell to seal that particular class. The AMS, Gary Spencer, second in class, just ahead of his championship rival JT Sawyer. Spencer was ahead of Sawyer in the championship before this round, just needs to be ahead of him to guarantee the title, and he's doing just that.
There's enough here taking place at this moment in time for people to wrap things up. Joey Means is another one who needs to be above Mike Elliott, which he is at the moment. Elliott is a long way placed down. Now, I did say 11 points he needs, but at the moment he's only got 9 places for Joey Means on that one. So, unfortunately for him, not good. Barry Acker, Justin Koch, and Marshall Crocker Jr. side by side. Koch does not get himself involved with that. He just lets Crocker Jr. go. Going to pick up his fight with Michael Chaplin in that Porsche there as well. Gap starting to appear here now. Alan Purser has just gone past Cody Bonte, but that's no surprise considering Purser is a pro, Bonte is an AM. And yeah, it's now that, are we in that conservation mode now, Tom, do we think? Do we think this is where we're going to be sitting back, watching drivers save fuel, or what do we think is going to be happening in the car now?
Well, it depends on who are the particular risk takers. I mean, if they haven't got enough fuel on board, they can make a splash and dash and quickly put on another set of tyres and then just go like clockwork in the final, 10 laps or so.
Okay. On that one. See, now it really does depend on who's got what fuel and who's going to be able to hold on. Going to disagree a bit on the tyres. I don't think if they've changed once at the first stop, they're going to need to change again. They should be able to get to the end. It's about a 45-minute. The rule of thumb is generally if it's under an hour to 45 minutes, you won't change tyres. Over that, you possibly might think of. And obviously with a lot of these that are taking tyres at the beginning. No real dramas for anybody. It looked like Jeremy Cheney had a 112 pit stop on that, one of the longest, over Mike Elliott, who had a 103. So 2 people that look like they may have struggled in the pit lane. Not going to necessarily say it was down to speeding, but clearly they had some sort of issues as their pit stops were about, well, for Mike Elliott, it was 10 seconds. For Jeremy Cheney, it was about 20 seconds slower. But this is a battle for the lead of the race. Neither men fighting it out for the championship, but what they are fighting for is pride to say they have gone and taken a win at this racetrack at the Nurburgring GP circuit. 40 minutes to go now. These guys are battling away. JT Sawyer just lost that place to Jeremy Cheney, but again, that's not JT's fight. He needs to now follow Jeremy and allow him to try and pull him up into Gary Spencer. However, Joey Means is his fight. It's important for JT to defend here, Tom, as well, if he wants to try and maintain any chance of overturning that 5th place deficit over Gary Spencer.
Well, it depends on the pit stops, but yes, he has to defend off Joey Mains in the short term. If he is to stay in the hunt, really, he just needs to follow Jeremy Cheney and get onto the rear of Gary Spencer, who's got another 8 seconds in hand over this lot. But Gary Spencer can just afford to take it easy. There's not too long left in the race now. We've got just under 40 minutes to go. There's still a lot can change, but in the realistic scheme of things, it's looking very good for Gary Spencer to take it. Now we've got the battle of the lead between Horvaten and Van Royce to go through NGK.
Yeah, it was hotting up. There was a lot of side-by-side at one point. David Van Roy there, putting pressure on Damien Horvaten. Round the final corner they go. That is back markers ahead of us at this moment in time. And who is that ahead of us? That is Jeff Sepulveda. See David Van Roy pulls out. He uses the power of that Mustang, and it has got some power on him. He's now going to go and try and dive up the inside of Horvaten into turn 1. That is an option. That tighter line is an option for taking that one as well. Good luck to everyone. I was just being in the way of everyone after being hit, and I had 7 minutes of repairs. Great broadcasting as always. Curtis, I gave you a shout out at the beginning as well, mate. I shouted your name out to make everybody aware that you were obviously on a 10-point rig, dude. So, you know, unfortunately it just went a bit peaked on there at the beginning. There was a lot going on at the beginning, to be blatantly honest, and unfortunately some people were in and out. One of them people was Mr. Kenny Bourgeois, and well, unfortunately, that wasn't due to the incident. Unfortunately, that was due to something else for Kenny, but you know, I'm sure he'll come back next season stronger than ever in some form of brightly coloured livery there as well. But David Van Roy, Damien Hoveyton still going for it now, Tom. Round on their way up into the Michelin curve. Vashsteiner. Van Roy's looking quick.
He is, but now we've got Bradley Lovins, who's through on Williams, and I think Williams made a mistake. So that releases Lovins now, who can go after all those in Pro, but he's lost so much time being stuck behind Pro-Ams, of which he should never have been fighting with. And he's got 12 seconds to make up on Cole Modric, and after Modric, he's got another 6 seconds to make up on Josh Herring.
Herring's got 6 places, 6 points. While Lovins was down a little bit further down, he was safe. With Lovins being at 6th place, 9 points, 57 points. It's only going to be a 2-point gain. But obviously, drop weeks of 49 and 45. We'll have to see how this one all works out at the moment. And I'll do some quick maths currently. See what they would get here as well, Tom. Going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it'll be very, very close. It'll be really intense, I'd have thought. But Lovins has just got to really dig deep now and just go at it like clockwork. And Josh Herring, well, he can just afford to take it easy. He can maybe even afford to fuel save if he wants to save himself doing an extra pit stop.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm just doing some maths.
Well, if we do the maths, James, I can keep an eye on the action for you. So we've got Hoveyton and Van Rooij, who are still going at it, albeit about 6 tenths between each other. Williams ahead of Tidwell in their Pro-Am battle. That battle is intensifying now as we speak. And as far as the AMs is concerned, LaPrat is still the leader, but Spencer is on course to take the AM title as it stands. Mains has got through on Sawyer, for your information. Sawyer down to 4th place in class and 24th overall. So it's beginning to really fade away for JT Sawyer. He really needs to fight back and somehow find something if he is going to come away with the AM title today. We've just seen Jerry Mains going toe-to-toe with what looks like a pro driver in that field. That'll be Alan Purser, who's recovering after a disastrous beginning to the race. And so Jerry Mains is still going at it with Purser, although Purser's through on the inside into turn number 1. He can go after the Pro-Am of Hanalei, who we've not really spoken too much about throughout today. But there is JT Sawyer, who has now got what looks like Chase Algray to contend with and just hold it back as much as possible. And following Algray is Bill Backer, who's also had an off day.
Yeah, he's trying to recover to come through at the moment. I've got the point being that these 2 rounds are not going to be drop rounds. I've got Lovins ahead by 2 going in after this race. If they stay where they are, that is. They stay where they are. I've got Lovins ahead by 2. Barry Acker has got Marshall Crocker Jr. tucked him right behind him as well. So we'll have to see what goes on with the Pro-Ams here. That should just be letting him through. I would have thought for Barry Acker. I don't think that's a fight you're going to win. That Mustang has got some mighty speed. There we go. And is he going to take the inside line? He is. And Acker gives it to him, basically. Probably one of the better ideas.
Yeah. So Acker just letting Crocker go. Acker can just get on with his own race as we speak. He was the Pro-Am leader earlier, but following the pit stops, I know he's on a different strategy to Williams and Tidwell, but he is down to 4th place in class and 12th overall. I wonder if Lovins is actually closing in now on Modric, and just comparing their lap times to what they've done. The lap times they've done actually are rather similar to each other. Modric did a 56.4 and Lovins did a 56.6. They're not closing in, but they are closing on Josh Herron. But I think Herron is one of those who can afford to take it easy anyway.
Yeah, Herron is chilling in chill at the moment. Not too sure if I've worked out that score. Is it going to be Tidwell's drop round? No, it's not.
Well,
no, it's
no,
not.
well,
it's not going to be Tidwell's drop round. So the 52 could be an interesting one here.
Well, Tidwell's lowest score has been 38, James. So if he does get a 52, if he is finishing where he is at, how many points would he get for that? Is that 55 or something like that?
That 32 from week 7. They'll need to go. It's obviously taken into consideration week 7. 10, 9, 8, 7. So it's here for Tidwell. But Tidwell's lowest is 52. Which was race number 7, because it'll only take 7 to 12. Their first drop's already been applied to 1 to 6, and that was a 38. It's the second drop from week 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So at the moment it's 52. So yeah, we'll have to see how that one works out, because I've got that working out rather differently. But we never know on that one. Till the end of the race. Van Roy and Horvaten still battling it out. Through they go now, through the NGK. Horvaten not letting go of that Porsche. And Van Roy chasing him down with the big old burly muscles of that Mustang. Tidwell's behind Williams. Tidwell's still battling it out for the lead of the Pro-Ams. And it looks like Van Roy still not going to be able to get there. Tidwell not being able to get there with Jonathan Williams. Not quite sure what went on up there. Something happened at the top of the timing tower, but they're still going as they are at the moment here, Tom. And I think this is going to be a battle for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, and they've got back markers which they need to contend with and navigate through. So that could play a role. We saw what happened with Ryan Henderson, if you remember, at the NGK, who was not really... Well, he wasn't exactly being kind to Horvaten earlier, and that cost Horvaten time. But thankfully, the back markers that these are going through now are being more obligatory, so to speak. Yeah,
that was JT Sawyer. They've just put a lap down, and that would cost Van Roy about a second in time. Jeremy Cheney is in there. He's trying to get up to the back of Gary Spencer, Koch and Dudkowski, and that's a. I believe that Coke going into the pit lane. It is 30 minutes, a second stop for Justin Koch. Maybe tried a little bit of a short fuel in the middle. Bill Bacco going over Mike Elliott, which is great for Joey Means, but again it's still not enough spaces, and Williams and Tidwell still fighting it out, so it's all getting very, very, very close here. We're going into the final 30 minutes, Tom. I think this is going to be one that we can sit back and say Bob's won or Bill's won, but I can probably tell you what, it might be Ben who's won after all of this because of the drop scores and the way it works.
Well, we'll leave that for now. We're looking at Williams, who has got Tidwell for company. This is going to be a very, very interesting battle now between these two. Obviously, this may not affect the championship as such, but Tidwell cannot afford to be tangling with anyone.
No, he definitely cannot. But Tidwell, he needs to look at the bigger picture now, and I think it's whether or not he just doesn't need to fight for Tidwell. I think he's just got to try and stay where he is. If Williams makes a mistake, gain a position, but if he doesn't, no timers. Do you know what I mean? So for Bradley Tidwell, it's important that he just keeps it on the racetrack.
Absolutely so. Well, Williams is doing a good race as well. And looking at where Lovins is, he's not closing down the gap enough at the moment, is he? I'm looking at their times. He basically matched what Modric did on the last lap. Heron did a 55.9. So he has actually responded to the gap. Oh no, that's his best time. Sorry, I'm looking at the best times. So in fact, Lovins was a 10th faster than Modric on the last lap, and Heron was a 10th slower than Modric. So Lovins has only taken a couple of tenths out of Heron on the last lap alone. And we are seeing more pits as Dukovsky's coming in. We've also got Rick Modric in the pits. There are two Modric's in the field, so that you know. Rick Modric is the one that's further down the order. Cole Modric is the one in 5th position. And there is Bradley Lovins going through the Dunlop hairpin ahead of Lovins. I can see that is not Cole Modric. That will be a back marker.
Steve Bollinger. Since Ollinger's changed over from his normal Rexy livery that he normally has, the green one, and sporting a Clemson livery, unfortunately, it hasn't gone well. So maybe for Heat Ollinger, we will see the Rexy livery. He had the green one for next season. Maybe he'll come back sporting that, because that Clemson one has not done him any favours this season at all. And I'm sure he'll watch it back and be like, James, stop it. They did tell him when he DM'd me as well. So, but for now, Mulvaney and Roy still battling out, trying to clear Joey Means out the way as quickly as possible. But Joey at the moment, did manage to stay out the way in a very precarious place there. Not a normal place for even Valvoline Curve.
He won't have wanted to have allowed them through there, given the fact that the corners were on camber. I think it's on camber or off camber, I can't quite remember. But Joey Mains has allowed the pair through. And he will have Ryan Merriam, who's closed back in on this bunch. I don't know whether that's because of the back markers, or whether he's just actually setting some blistering pace compared to what he had been setting 5 or 6 laps later. 5 or 6 laps earlier.
Yep. Waiting on Roy. We're on board with Damien Horvath, and there is Van Roy now in that green Mustang. Been a mighty car at the hands of David Van Roy this season. I'll tell you that much. It has been incredible. Means has just done a moment off the side of the circuit, has lost his bumper. Mike Elliott is still behind him, but not enough for Joey Means. Fortunately, he did go off side of the circuit. Trying to keep replays to a minimum. We have to have a bit of a problem with the connection at this moment in time. Horvath has now cleared Van Roy again. And Horvath, not clear Van Roy, sorry, cleared a back marker again. That should be put out. Hanalei, they've just gone past. And it is. But Damien Horvath and David Van Roy, they are literally lapped everybody now up to Alan Purser in 18th place. Price has got Marshall Crocker Jr. behind him. Needs places, Quentin Price. But he can't afford to be held up at all.
No, and he's got Crocker Jr. behind him for position. He's not in the same class as Price. That's going to make it mighty, only difficult for Price really to hold him back. But he's got to hope that Williams and Tidwell really trip over themselves, because that's probably his best hope.
Going to be interested on the drop weeks as well, because the way I've worked it out, I've got a roles reverse in the Pro-Ams, but I'm hoping that might just be my maths. But we'll see how they get on here as well. Marshall Crocker Jr. tucked in right behind, and we'll see how they go here.
We've got Crocker Jr. He'll be wanting to send it on Price at some point, but he's too far back to do it on this occasion. We'll go back to the leaders in Pro as Champlin comes into the pits from P12. The gap between Horvath and Van Roy, well, it's definitely less than half a second. They're very, very close to each other. Maybe go to that battle, James. That'd be rather handy. But yeah, it's intense. So there we go. Look, you can see he's right on the tail now of Horvath as they come towards the last corner. And yeah, this could be Van Roy's best chance to send it.
Horvath runs a little bit wide. That's going to bring Van Roy in. Is he going to be able to get through? Are we going to see the power of the Mustang? He's going to go up the inside. He's not at the moment. And David Van Roy there again. It looked like Alan Purser might have been off the side of the circuit.
Not good. Oh my goodness me.
Alan Purser was off the side of the circuit there, smoke ablazing. And unfortunately for the leaders, there was a Ferrari, I believe, in behind David Van Roy. So it might have been Brennan in behind that, in that red Ferrari. And we'll see how it all works out on this one for David Van Roy and Damien Horvath. Great little battles taking place here as well. Donovan Williams in the pit lane for the second stop with 22 minutes to go.
Yeah, let's see how quick this pit stop is for Williams. De La Cruz also in the pro category. And I wonder if Josh Herring, when did Josh Herring last come into the pits? I'm just having a look to see. He pitted on lap 13, so we expect him to come in. Was it lap 13 he came in? Can't quite remember.
No.
Lap 19, was it
yeah,
lap 19?
Lap 19 there on your for him. So yeah, lap 19.
I would probably say he might end up pitting again, you know, depending on where he is with fuel. So what lap are we on now? We're on lap 35. Go on.
Van Roy almost making a move over Horvath. Going into NGK, not this time. He is pressurising Horvath all day. Purser's down there as well. He's in the mix. Cheney's in the pit lane. Spencer is in the pit lane. Now what has JT Sawyer got here? Can he hold enough fuel till the end of the race? JT pitted on lap 20, so 16 laps ago. And I think, to be honest, a lot of these are going to be two-stopping, I think, on this one, Tom.
Yeah, we'll see anyway. Horvath and then Van Roy. I don't know what they are thinking about fuel stops, but they pitted on lap 20 together, and they might be able to go to the end. But because they've been battling, they'll have been using more and more fuel. So it's a tough one to ask, really, because you don't want to lose all that time by coming into the pits.
Yeah. But I think they will be. But I don't think he's going to be... I'll be very surprised if he's taking tyres or anything like that, because I think, as I said, tyres will generally last. JT Sawyer and Gary Spencer have swapped around. Now there is what have we got, 29-second gap between the two, but it's whether or not JT needs to go in again, and whether or not they're all going to be going in again for a two-stopper on this one.
We'll see. Horvath and Van Roy are going towards the end of the lap, I think, or towards the end of the lap that they are on. Merriam's around about 5 seconds off that battle now, so he's dropped back again as Merriam. And Josh Herring, well, he's 24 seconds off that bunch, but like we've said, he does not need to worry about those lot. He just needs to finish ahead of Bradley Lovins to take the Pro Class title. As we see JT Sawyer, you can see in your picture, ahead of Champlin and the 19th place driver in the field. That is Justin Cock, who's ahead of Jeremy Cheney, who's pitted twice in this race already. Or has he pitted 3 times?
JT's in. Times. Yeah, JT's in there. And JT Sawyer is in the pit lane. Get it stopped. It will be where this man is. He's coming up through Advan Bogan. Going into NGK. Gary Spencer should jump JT. JT has stopped. It's going to be about how much fuel JT needs to take on. He went a lap longer. He's on his way out. For JT, Spencer's coming around the top part of the racetrack. He's going to be close. Spencer's on the right, in behind the purple car. I think he's going to get JT, but I think they're going to be together again. And he has got JT. JT's got to go now because Spencer just going down into turn 1. And JT has, unfortunately, coming out behind Gary Spencer. Tidwell is same scenario. He's in the pit lane. Where is Quinton Price? He's going round again. But if Quinton goes in for the pits now, it's going to be dangerous. Needs to see how much fuel he's got. Whether or not he's going to have enough. I think he pitted well early on lap 17. So I think he needs to go in again. And I think there's going to be a lot of people between now and that last 10 minutes there, Tom, pitting like crazy.
Well, one driver said an absolute disaster is Philip de la Cruz because he was running towards the top end, and I think he's been involved in some form of incident. So that's him effectively out of the running, and that will give Lovins a little bit of a sigh of relief because he was running towards where Lovins was, but now Lovins can just concentrate on going after Cole Modric and Josh Herring.
De la Cruz, whatever went on, happened on lap 35. We'll have a look. Nothing happened. He just looked like he jumped straight back into the pit lane for De La Cruz. So unfortunately, whatever the issue was, he has just jumped straight back to the pit lane. That dude 6IX, was a great race. Good luck, Joey Mean there as well. Was clearly a driver in the race. Let us know who you are, dear sir. As Tidwell still is in behind Price. How far up we got at the moment? It's about 16 seconds. So I think Price is not going to quite jump Tidwell unless he doesn't need to go in at all. But I think he's going to have to.
Let's see. Quinton Price will just want to edge out the second stint as far as possible. He pitted in on lap 17, actually, did Quinton Price. I would expect him to be in the pits before this race is over. It's just if he stays out longer, which he has done, he's now stuck behind another car who I think that's a lap down on where Quinton Price is, which will not help Price one bit.
Yep. That is not helpful. That could have just really done Quinton Price no favours there on that entrance into that pit lane. Mike Elliott down in 28th. I believe that was, because that is Valentin going out now, and it was Mike Elliott. But I think that's going to have to do the end of Quinton Price. Bradley Tidwell has got past him, down into turn one, and Price is still in the pit lane. Lost the place to Brian LaPrat, lost the place to Brian Hoskins. He needs to get moving now. He's got to get out in front of Elliott if he can. He can stay out in front of Alan Purser. Quinton Price, 4th in class at the moment, 12th overall. So, didn't have any favours being held up on the entrance there.
No, that he'll been raging inside his head, inside that crash helmet. But now he's just got to get on with it now and concentrate on getting back through to have any hope of going after Bradley Tidwell for the Pro-Am title. We've got Venroy and Josh Herring both in the pits. There is Venroy, who's just completed the stop now, exiting the pit lane, and he'll rejoin ahead of Bradley Lovins, no question. When did Lovins come into the pits for his first stop? It was lap 20, wasn't it? So he's probably going to have to pit in the game before this race is over.
Yeah, by the looks of it, looks like everybody's going to have to do at least 2 stops. Everybody's going to have to be doing 2 stops. Jeremy Cheney down here with Justin Koch and Michael Chaplin, as Chaplin and Koch have been battling all the way through. They've been literally stuck together like that. Fair play to them. Jeff Sepulveda is there at the moment. He's behind Cameron Risley. Risley's just peeling in to the pit lane. Bill Backer looks like he might have just had a moment, but he's still running there as well. And Brian LaPrat, the AM driver, finds himself up to the dizzy heights of 10th. But for how long for Mr. LaPrat? He has only done 1 stop, and as we can see, it is basically a 2-stop race. So we'll see how he gets on, or see where he is when he comes out the pit lane. But wherever he will be, it'll be very, very interesting indeed. Gap starting to spread now as well, Tom. Cars spreading out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, LaPrat will just want to aim, get in front of the battle of Sawyer, Spencer and Mains, which he should do because he's got well over half a minute ahead of them in hand. but we are seeing drivers spreading out a little bit, as you've rightly mentioned, but we've still got those who haven't made a second stop yet. Horvatin and Merriam are two of those, along with Modric and Lovins. Neither of those two have made a second stop yet. It's going to come down to a splash and dash, isn't it? Which is going to help with the pit stop time, surely.
Well, I don't think some of the ones that have gone in now will have to splash and dash. I think at the end of the day, they can get to the end, but it's whatever or not for David Van Roy with the likes of Ryan Merriam and and Damien Horvatin, where they go in. How far back is Van Roy? It's not massively back. Coming down into turn one, it's about 35 seconds. So for David Van Roy, he's still in with a shout of actually winning the race overall. Dudkowski is down here at the moment, battling Alan Purser in the Lexus wannabe BMW. As Purser is there in 12th place. One of the closest battles on track at the moment.
Dudkowski is all over the back of Purser, who's done a reasonable job after that spin he had at the beginning of the race. Purser, just look to see how many times he's pitted. He's pitted twice already as Purser, so he's actually done very well to get back up to where he is at. Time is running out to make a move for Dudkowski to get past Purser for position. And Horvatin and Merriam will just be thinking about when they're going to be pitting in, if they do decide to. We'll have a look at Van Roy's lap times. He's just on his out lap, but we'll have a look to compare the lap times between the three when they next cross over the line.
Yeah, Ryan Henderson looks like he's had a moment again, unfortunately for Ryan. Damien Horvatin still is just going into the bits. David Van Roy, Ryan Merriam's following him in. And David Van Roy is coming up through Advan Bogan. Got a couple of more corners to go. Horvatin still just trundling down the pit lane, not stopping at this moment in time. Obviously for Horvatin, he's got to go all the way to the end. Ryan Merriam's got to go down there as well. David Van Roy is on his way round the final corner. Is Horvatin going to get something going? He has. He's got into the pits. The men are working on him right now, but I can tell you one thing. David Van Roy is there. Horvatin is on his way out. He does come out in front of him. Ryan Merriam does not come out in front of Damien Horvatin or David Van Roy. In fact, Van Roy is 3 seconds back away from Horvatin.
Well, Horvatin did a much quicker stop.
Yeah, but did he stick enough in? He's done a stop 3 seconds quicker than everybody else. 3 seconds.
Well,
that's massive amounts of fuel.
Well, he's got 6 laps to go in this race, so that's all he needs. He needs 6 laps of fuel to get to the end. Lovins has just done his stop. He was very, very quick actually for his latest trip to the pits. I think his pit stop time was something like 10 seconds for Bradley Lovins, and he's got out, I think, in front of, well, he's not in front of Modric, is he? But I imagine he'll be a lot closer to Modric than he was beforehand. Or at least he gained a little bit of time.
8 seconds.
Yeah, he's not going to make up all that time, actually, is he?
Oh, Ryan
Merriam's off.
Yep. I think that's down at the Coca-Cola corner. Or actually down at Dunlop, sorry. For Ryan Merriam there. Didn't lose a place though, but has lost a bunch of time. But I am surprised on Damien Horvatin's stop here, whether or not he can get to the end. Everybody else in and around is 12 seconds. Van Roy 12, Merriam 12, Herrin is 13, Cole Modric is nearly 12. Keep an eye out as we're going into the last 9.5 minutes of the race. We will have a chat with some of the drivers after this one, of course. And Quinton Price, 12 seconds back from Bradley Tidwell now. So that looks like that could be Tidwell's championship. Brian LaPratt leading over JT Sawyer, who is 3 places above Gary Spencer. But obviously, as we know, the gap is 5 coming into this, so not too sure that JT is going to have enough either on that one. So I believe there's going to be quite an interesting one to see how they get on once all of these scores are calculated.
Well, Purser's dropped back from his battle with Dudkowski. I don't know if he's just made a pit stop as Purser, but either way, he's dropped down the order. Laprat's just got by him, and Tall Purser's just got him back again. No one has made just the one stop. All of them have made 2.
Joey means that. There is Panel Hanley in front. And he's got Gary Spencer 4.7 seconds back. This is not helping him here, Joey, at the moment. Finishing 3rd in the AMS. Still interested to see what goes on. That gap up front is down to 1.7 seconds. Tell you what, David Van Roy's flying at the moment here, Tom.
He is. He's getting hammered down. His Van Roy, but he's been stopped behind back markers while he's going after Damien Horvatin. But Van Roy is being held up big time here, and he'll want to get by. Well, I don't know who it was that he's trying to get through there, but it wasn't exactly being the... Was it Hoskins? Yeah, I don't think he was being the bestest of friends, or the best of friends, to let Van Roy through. Van Roy has got by him at last, but if Horvatin is trying to save fuel, that could explain why the gap is coming down more and more and more.
Yep. Which I think he is. I don't think he's put enough in there. Just judging by the fact that he's so far off the off the pit lane times of everybody in and around him. I think Horvatin may have to do something. Either that or everybody around him has got him wrong. And he has got it nailed. But it's weird how they're all around the same area and then his is miles ahead of everybody else's. So, you know, who's got it wrong?
We'll see, but Van Roy will be encouraged by the fact he's closing down the gap, but there is another back marker which he'll have to negotiate first before he gets to the rear of Horvatin. There goes that back marker, it stays out of the way. But there's just 4 laps to go in this race, and still all to play for in the battle for the Pro Class win. Between Williams and Tidwell, that battle seems to have died down now. Williams looking good for the win on the day. Tidwell looking good to wrap up the Pro-Am title. Laprat is the leader of the ANS by quite some way over JT Sawyer. With where Spencer is at, I think Spencer is just going to win out in the ANS by the smallest of margins.
I wouldn't count your chickens on that one as of yet. Spencer may have just been off the side of the circuit and had a problem, but he's still there. JT Sawyer and Panel Hanley still scrapping around. Hanley's just taking a big dive over JT. Now JT, who's got Joey Means in behind him, really doesn't want to need you two fighting. He really doesn't for JT. He needs him and Mines to basically not do that. Whether or not JT's actually letting him through either on that one, I think that looked a little bit easy for JT, so maybe he is letting him through. Gap up front, 1.4 seconds. JT's airy on the side of caution here. I'm wondering if he's another man that is short. Lord, his stop was 8.63 seconds.
I think he's on the fuel, James. It looked, otherwise he wouldn't be going around as slowly as he has been.
Two secs here. Let's see what JT does down into turn 1.
Well, just listen to his gear shifting as he's going through the corner, because that could well explain whether he's underfueled or not.
Doesn't look like he's trying to save anything.
Well, whilst you say that, Spencer's dropped back a few positions, and that's opened things up in the AM race. He's made a mistake somewhere, has Spencer? Yes, he has. He's had a spin at NGK.
Yeah, we'll have a look back at this one. Hopefully we will be able to come back to live pictures after this. What did you do? Oh.
He'll have caught the curb, I think. Oh, maybe he was already going round.
Yeah, I think for Gary Spencer. That's put him out the side, unfortunately. Cody Bonte is there now. And JT Sawyer has got 1, 2, 3, 4, give or take, plated. So Gary Spencer here as well, Pumpkin. He needs to keep them spaces where he can if he can hold them. Otherwise he could be in real trouble. Where is Damien Horvath on the racetrack? It's going to be possibly one more lap here. Maybe 2 at the most for Damien Horvath, and seems to be okay on the fuel.
He'll be on the penultimate lap. Well, seems to be okay so far. He's managing the gap over Venroy nicely. Lovins is closing in on Modric a little bit, but it's only very minimal. And so Josh Herring looking very good to wrap up the Pro Championship today with the way he has performed.
Going to be the final lap last time around. Next time around, I should say. And Damien Horvath gaps down to 1.8 seconds. That is Barry Acker on there. That is into Dunlop Care. So Acker unfortunately went round 1.7. Traffic up front could be quite handy to David Van Rooy, 1.6. Is he going to have enough? 2:20 on the clock. Lap time's 1:55. This is the run now from Vasteiner up to Advan Bogan. Through we go, and then into NGK. Damien Horvath on for the final lap of the race. Gaps down to 1.4, 1.3 for Horvath. Over the NGK we go. Now coming on to the final lap, down to 1.3. If it keeps coming down at this rapid rate of knots here, Tom, I think Horvath's going to be in trouble.
Well, we'll see. I mean, he seems to be going around fine, but he's got all those back markers which he may have to contend with throughout the next 5.1 kilometres or 4.1 kilometres. Just trying to remember the circuit length. This was 5.1. I was right, but there you go. It's now or never for Venroy if he is to come away with the race win. Josh Herring doing a brilliant job, just taking it very easy. There's a long way off this. He won't mind it too much, but for the sake of this race alone, Horvath, well, he's going to be feeling nervous now, isn't he?
Yes, he will, considering it's now down to nearly a second. So, 8 tenths. Oh, Venroy's gone! Oh no, David Van Rooy! Oh, Horvath should survive now. He should survive 2.8. But for Damien Horvath, still got traffic in front. And whether or not he can even catch the traffic on that run now up through Schumacher S's, I think this is going to wrap this up for Damien Horvath. Should take the victory. Question will be whether or not he's going to get, I don't think he's going to get one more lap either. Down to 2.2, 2.1. Even now for David Van Rooy. Gap's still coming down, but I just don't think it's going to be enough going through the next couple of corners. I think that one thing for Van Rooy killed him.
Yeah, that hurt him horribly. But now Horvath can just take it easy all the way to the checkered flag. And what a job he has done today, despite all the pressure being thrown at him.
Yeah, Damien Horvath coming through now. And Van Rooy still there, but it's going to be Horvath. I wouldn't do that. The line's quite far down. And he has taken the victory there as well. Ryan Merriam's going to come over the line in 3rd place. So Merriam does come over the line in 3rd. Then in the Pro-Ams, we're waiting for Jonathan Williams, who should take this victory ahead of Bradley Tidwell. And then Price is going to grab 3rd. I don't think that's enough, got to be honest on that one. For Tidwell, I think, for Price, sorry, I think Tidwell is going to jump him. Brian LaPrat has won the AMS and just got lapped towards the end and has finished. And he's taken the victory in the AMS. Means got 2nd, Sawyer got 3rd, Spencer down in 26th. So 22nd, 4 places. But Spencer as well, so that's going to be even close. But Jonathan Williams comes over the line. He wraps up the Pro-Am victory. Over he goes. Bradley Tidwell in second place. And then Quinton Price will come over the line in third, going up here as well. So very interesting race indeed. Ups and downs, but I don't think if Venroy hadn't gone off, Horvath would have had that. I think Venroy would have got him.
I'm not so sure, because I think the fact that Venroy went off, Horvath was able to just back off a little, because he didn't need to rush things. So
yeah, but what I'm saying is before, if Venroy hadn't gone off, he would have got overtaken by Venroy.
I don't think so. I think Horvath would have had to push harder in the remainder of the lap to keep him back. I don't think Venroy would have got by him.
We'll find out when we have a chat as Heath Hollinger comes over the line, the last of the finishers, with Ryan Henderson there behind him. Both of them have had races to forget here, I think could be the easiest way to put that one. But let's have a look at the results of this 90-minute endurance race. Damien Horvath is your winner over David Venroy, over Ryan Merriam. That's your 1, 2, 3 in the pros. Josh Herring in fourth, Cole Modric in fifth, Bradley Lovins, who we think has taken the pro title. Jonathan Williams takes the win in the Pro-Ams, with Bradley Tidwell in eighth, who I believe has taken the win over Quinton Price. Marshall Crocker Jr. in between them. Brian Dudkowski in 11th, then Jeremy Cheney, Rick Modric, Justin Koch, Alan Purser and Brian Hoskins. Brian LaPratt wins in the AMS. I think that's Brian's first win this season. We're ahead of Michael Chaplin and Pernell Halloway. Joey Means is in 20th, JT Sawyer 21st, Barry Acker in 22nd, Chase Allgrave in 23rd, and Jeff Sepulveda, Jose Valentin and Gary Spencer. 5 points between them. Oh, it's a 5-point gap. Let's see how that one pans out. Heath Bollinger in 27th, Cameron Risley down 2 laps in 28th. Then you got Mike Elliott and Matthew Brennan, a further 2 laps back with Ryan Henderson. Then the guys that didn't finish: Cody Bonty, Scott Carlson, Bill Backer, Philippe De La Cruz, Brett Basil, James Hillerick and Curtis Matthews down in 29th. And then further back from that, you got Dan Svoric and Kenny Bourgeois, who was out very earlier on indeed. Let's have a chat why we've got him here, our third place man, Mr. Ryan Merriam. Ryan, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Hey guys, not doing too bad. How about you guys?
I'm all right, mate. Sweating.
Yeah, for sure.
Tough out there, isn't it? When you do like an in 90 minutes endurance race.
Yeah, I actually love the little longer races. I think it's a kind of a perfect kind of amount of time. But yeah, definitely gets you working for sure.
No, definitely did. So qualified second, lost 1 place. Is it something that you're not overly worried about this time around? You know what I mean? Sitting obviously in the championship at the moment, you're in 5th place. Cole Modric was in front, who finished only 2 places behind. So that's going to be very, very interesting with you guys. What was it about for you coming into this race?
Yeah, so the way the points are, I mean, I'm gaining like a point or 2 on call, maybe a race. So, you know, it's really tough to make up any ground since I missed those 2 races the season 1. So, you know, at this point, I'm just having fun, man. I come in, try to do the best I can. I actually thought I was probably going to get 3rd today, but I'm a little sad. I'm a little disappointed. I think I could have been right up there with those guys. I messed up my pit stop a little bit on the first one on the exit. I got my car all screwed up with the gearing and had a horrible exit out of the stall. And then I came out like 3 seconds behind Van Roy, and I saw them dealing with back markers. I tried to use it as my advantage. Crawled all the way back to like 1.7 seconds behind, and I got stuck behind somebody for like half the lap, and I went all the way back to like 4.5 seconds. So mentally, that kind of ruined my race there, and I just settled for 3rd.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, dude, some points are better than no points, and let's be real about it. But yeah,
Absolutely.
as well. Ryan, well done. I hope to see you back for next season there, buddy. Is there anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, you guys, as always, can't wait to watch the race. You guys do a great job. Can't say that enough. It's super fun watching this back. So thanks to you both. Bradley, he does a lot of work to put this on, and the rest of the admins. This is just a blast for me. And the rest of the guys keeping me honest, trying to keep beating their times each week on the leaderboards. It's helping us all get better, I think. So looking forward to the next season. I'll be there, and you guys have a great day.
Stacey says, woohoo, right, and then you,
Oh yeah, I forgot. I got to shout out the mom.
yes, make sure you do all that one as well. Well done,
Yes, yes,
Ryan.
yes.
Catch up with you soon, buddy.
All right, guys, take it easy. See you in a couple weeks.
Right. Right, now I'm going to jump through the order. Going to have a chat with Brian LeBrat, who I believe has just saved his first win in class, the final race of the season. Brian, am I correct? I think that's your first race win, isn't it?
I think I got 2 other ones. What was it?
What, this season?
Yeah, this season I got the one that was in the rain.
Oh, you got Phillip Island, didn't you?
Yeah, Phillip Island, and then the one before that that was in the rain. The
Lemons.
yeah, lemon. Yep.
Well, yeah. I suppose this is easy compared to lemons in the rain that night, mate. I can tell you that much. How tough was it out there for you, though, anyway, dude?
It was a tough go at it. I messed up on there in the first beginning, so I just tried to keep it on the track the rest of the race, and it worked out for me.
Yeah, it did on there. You did well. You finished. What's the ambition for next season, Brian?
Well, next season I think I'm going to the Pro-Am class, so I'm gonna try to be mid-pack in that, anyways.
Oh, are you? Why?
As far as I know, they moved me up to the Pro-Am, so we're gonna see how that works.
Yeah. Okay. Unusual to do that in a mid-season, especially when you're in the championship sitting in 6th. But there we go. I'm sure that's down to them and they've got their reasons. But listen, dude, it's been a pleasure to talk to you as always. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
No, just thanks for Bradley for putting all this on. It's a fun time every Sunday.
Yeah, it definitely is awesome stuff. Well, Brian, thanks so much for joining us there, bud, and look forward to seeing you next season.
Yep, look forward to seeing you too.
Take care, man. Next up, I'm going to have a chat with the Pro-Am winner, Mr. Jonathan Williams here, sitting 3rd in the championship going into this one. Quite sure that wasn't be able to get a catch the 2 up in front, but he has held on to that 3rd place ahead of Panel on that one. Jonathan, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm all right, mate. Not too bad at all, to be fair. Just watched a great racing for 90 minutes. And now I get to have a chat with you. 3rd in the championship this season. Good enough?
Yeah. I mean, it's better than the bottom. The higher, the better.
Well,
And obviously, Bradley and them in front of me. Yeah, it's going to be tough to try to get up there.
Yeah. What do we reckon going into next season? Are they going to open up the door and let you in?
I'm hoping.
Dude, I think it's wide open. I think it's coming in with adding all these up and everything else going into that 4th season. I think it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. How tough was the 90 minutes, though?
It was very tough. I was falling off lap after lap after lap. Quite frankly, to be honest, I don't even think I would have finished first in the Pro-Ams unfortunately, Barry and Filippo had an incident because of back marker, and that sucked. Kind of hate to see that happen. But yeah, it was tough towards the end. Bradley was chewing me up.
He was coming as well. It is tough, 90 minutes, to be honest. I said during the broadcast I can only last an hour before I start thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner. I have not got a concentration level for an hour and a half, mate. But listen, fair play to you on that one. Congrats on your win here today. Congrats on your 3rd place in the championship. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
As always, my wife, and thank everybody at OGRL. It's an awesome league. And as always, I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, cheers, Jonathan. Take care, buddy. Look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we're going to go down the order. We're going to have a chat with David Van Roy. I think the question will be close, but no cigar. But then I suppose we could pin it down to that final lap mistake on that one. David Van Roy, welcome in, bud. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I'm all right, mate. I'm not bad. Listen, I thought you were going to get him. You had pace on him. What happened on that final lap?
Yeah, it's called tunnel vision, where I'm following the car in front of me with a back marker, and he went off the track, and I basically followed him off the track, and I couldn't quite get the car to turn, and then I had to slow down, and that was that, and so yeah, it was just a lost a little concentration right there at the end, and couldn't catch him. I wasn't probably as aggressive as I needed to be earlier in the race anyways. I was just happy pacing, and I really honestly kind of thought that somehow through the pit stop stuff, because I didn't take any tires the whole time, and I thought, well, maybe they will, and I'll come out in front and can kind of race my own pace. But that didn't happen with Damien. He came out in front still, and I'm like, damn. So, yeah, it was a ton of fun.
He had to save majorly for that second stop. After that second stop, his stop was 3 seconds quicker than yours in that second one.
Yeah, and I don't know how. I'm not sure how he got 3 seconds, but I know people have said the same thing with me right early on. It's like, how is he saving that? I don't know. I took minimum fuel and no tires, and it's probably more to do with how you go into the pits and come out. You really do have to practice that on some of these so you can go in at maximum speed, and I didn't do enough of that, so maybe that was a big difference. But a lot of fun. Damien did a great job out there. Ryan was great. It was the three of us for a long time, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know if it was 3 seconds good on that entry, to be honest with you, David. I think there was a shortfall of pit. The way you were closing at him, and I think you might have been saving on that, and unlucky because I thought you were going to get him, and it would come down to about 6 temps there as well. But listen, going into next season, what's the ambition?
Yeah, really no mistakes, as far as, I had a few races this year where I got caught up in some stuff that really kind of hurt me overall. But so a little bit more consistency that way, and just kind of really be thinking about top 3 finishes. I'm not necessarily trying to win, but being consistent that way. That'll be my goal.
We're going to see you at every race.
Yeah, I hope so. It was unfortunate this year with moving and all this other stuff where I had to miss a bunch, but yeah, the plan is to be there every week and hang out with these guys for sure.
Well, David, well done, buddy. Congratulations on your second place, and look forward to seeing you next season.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for all you guys are doing, and happy anniversary to my wife. Today's our anniversary. Been married 26 years, and so I appreciate her letting me do this on our anniversary day.
Better treat her nice tonight, mate.
I will do my best. You bet.
Okay, cool. Take care, buddy. Have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
Right, and next up is our winner of today. Led at the beginning, led after the pit stops, led after the second pit stops, but was he saving fuel on the end stop there to the line? Let's have a chat with him now, Mr. Damien Horvath. And Damien, welcome in.
Good day. This is probably the first time in 6 weeks that I'm actually happy after the race. So,
but were you saving fuel?
No, I was saving fuel the entire time. The thing was, it was a 2-stop, so you had to fuel save the whole race, so you don't have to take like extra 2-3 seconds in the pits on the last one. So I was kind of aiming for that. Like 2.85 or lower liters per lap. But there, after the last stop, I had 23 incidents and the limit is 24. So I just kind of cruised around like just enough to not get another one, because then I would lose the race. So I was just nursing the car and myself to the line.
But he was closing regardless.
Oh, he was. But then he went off, unfortunately. And I just saw like a blue streak just behind me in the mirror, and I was like, oh shit.
Oh, that's language.
I got it. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
man. Oh man. Yeah, that'll do.
Oh man, I got this.
Yes. So, apologies there if anybody at home become deeply offended by Damien Horvath's language. I will promise the next time I see him, I will give him a naughty slap on the wrist there as well.
Well, it turns out every time you interview me after a win, I drop a swear word. So
Naughty boy on that one. Listen, going into next season, what's the plan for Damien Horvaten?
So my plan is to, of course, be here to continue for the next 14 weeks. Though I have some other leagues I will be running, mainly the official IMSA Endurance Series, which will take up my Saturdays. So, of course, goal is to compete, and we'll see with a bit less practice how I will stack up in the third part of the season.
Okay, bud. Well, listen, have a good one there, mate. Thank you so much for popping in. Pleasure as always. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Same as always, you two, the organizers, and I would like to congratulate Bradley Lovings. I believe, according to my calculations, that he is the champion of this mini season. So congrats to him.
We think so, yeah. I got him by 2 points, but never just quite know that, you know, you're asking commentators to do maths.
So yeah, that's it.
Well, take care, buddy, and look forward to seeing you next season.
Of course, you too. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, on that one, we had some happy drivers in there as well. Nice little chat across them all. But for the final time, Tom, give us your analogy, son. How was it?
It was a good experience. A lot on the line involving all three classes. Good racing all the way through. And I'm sure we'll be hoping for more next time around when the OGRL resumes in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've got a 2-week break now. Don't forget to join us in 2 weeks' time here as well. But thank you so much to everybody that has joined us this season. Hope you've all enjoyed this absolute banger of a season. And we've got 2 more to come up to. So look forward to seeing that and seeing how these ones all pan out in the championship as well. But for now, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I've been James Parfitt. I've been alongside Tom Cairns. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.